Alright, so first up, we're going to start with a 1918 Buffalo nickel. Now this coin here has an uncentered broad strike. We see that taking place clearly on the coin here. Pretty noticeable type of mint error. We see that there again on the reverse as well. This coin is graded by PCGS at a mint state 62, and this Buffalo nickel sold for over $275. Now something you want to look for on your 1918 Buffalo nickels is the 8 over the 7. So in this image we can see that 7 underneath the 8. If we want to look at a different image, here is kind of showing you where that 7 is going to be underneath the 8. But I think it's pretty clear and pretty easy to see there. Now this coin here has that 8 over the 7. It's graded at a very fine 25. So it's not got a very high grade. The coin grading scale goes up to 70, with 70 being the best. This being at a 25, pretty, you know, lower on the grading scale. This coin does have that 7 underneath the 8, which we can see here in this image. Now this coin here, even with that lower grade, sold for almost $7,000, $6,900 for that coin. Now if we look at the same type of coin, we got the 8 over the 7. However, this coin is graded at an AU58, so a much higher grade than the last coin. So that will increase the value from, you know, $6,900 to over $25,000. And of course, if you have a coin like this in a mint state grade, it could sell for even more. But that's not the only thing to look for on your 1918 Buffalo nickels, or Indian head nickels, however you prefer to classify them. Here on the reverse, you want to look for doubling on the lettering. So look for that there. Pretty visible doubling there on the back, the reverse of the coin. Now here is that coin with the double die reverse. It is only graded at a very good 8, so super low on the coin grading scale, but this coin still sold for over $200. Of course, in better condition, it's going to sell for a lot more money. Now here's another mint error coin, a 1918 Buffalo nickel that has a lamination error. We see that taking place on the left side, kind of blurry there, I know, but the left side there, left bottom, towards the left bottom of the coin. So this coin here sold for a little over $600. Let's move on to some different coin prices here. For the 1918, this coin doesn't have any types of errors. It's graded at a very fine 20. The coin only sold for around $15 in this condition, of course, because it's a very low grade. However, if we go to a high graded version of the 1918, this coin sold for over $23,000, and that's because it's graded at a mint state 67 by PCGS. Alright, so that is a pretty awesome, flawless looking coin, man. Mint state 67, going to be super rare to have a coin like this in that grade. Now here's a 1918 mint error coin. Again, this coin has been struck 20% off center. Of course, like I always say in my videos, you can look for off centers on, you know, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, all kinds of different coinage out there. But this coin, being at a mint state 63 grade, sold for over $1,300, over a $1,000 nickel. Now we also have a cud taking place here on this 1918. Now this is going to be the S mint mark. By the way, if you're not familiar with where the mint mark is, here's an example of where the S mint mark is going to be, or where the D mint mark is going to be, and then of course there is a no mint mark as well. So this is the S mint mark. It's got that cud, which we see here in the top left side of the nickel, going all the way down there. Pretty awesome coin here. This Buffalo nickel sold for a little over $100, only graded at an extra fine 45. Now for the 1918S, this coin is only graded at a fine 15. The coin sold for around $50, but if we look at a high graded version of the 1918S, mint state 66 grade by NGC, this coin sold for over $29,000. So big difference in coin prices, of course, based on the grade of the coin. Now here's some other Buffalo nickels that you always want to look out for. The first thing you want to look for is doubling on the front of the coin. So a DDO, a double die obverse. So you want to look for doubling that is seen on the Indian's eyes and nose, as well as on the date 1930 itself. So here is some examples of that on the eye and the nose. And then we also see that on the feathers as well. And then on the 1930 S mint mark, we actually see that there on the word Liberty. Very, very visible doubling here on this lettering. So always be on the lookout for that. Here is the doubling on the 1930 S date, 1930. So always be on the lookout for that. And by the way, that little F down there underneath the date, that is not a mint mark. The mint mark is always going to be on the back of these coins. If we zoom in here at the bottom of this coin, you will see the S mint mark. So look for a D or S mint mark. And of course, there are no mint marks as well. So the mint mark is going to be right underneath the word 5 cents. So here is an example of that double die obverse. You got doubling on the front of the coin. This coin's only graded at an extra fine 45, so it's not a mint state grade, but it's not too bad. The coin sold for around $95, so not too bad for that coin. Had it been in much better condition, it would have sold for a lot more money. Now you also want to look for doubling on the back of the coin, the reverse of the coin. So look for that on the bison's left foreleg. That is doubled there. So there is some examples of that doubling taking place there. Now if we look at this coin here, this first coin only sold for around $235. Now you see the condition of it. The coin's graded at a very fine 30. Probably looks similar to maybe some of the buffalo nickels you have in your coin collection, condition wise. So like I said, a $235 coin. But if we look at the same exact coin, 1930 with the double die reverse, however, this is graded at a mint state 66. This is a very, very high grade. This coin sold for over $6,000. So we go from a $200 coin to a $6,000 coin because of the grade of the coin. They both have that doubling, so always be on the lookout for that, because even in, you see here, this coin not being in the best condition, still sold for over 200 bucks. So definitely worth looking for on your buffalo nickels. Now we also have what is called two feathers. So if we look at this image here, you can see that there's 3 feathers. I'll put an arrow there. Bam, bam, and bam. So those are 3 feathers. Now what you want to look for is 2 feathers. So here's an example of that. It's missing the 3rd feather there. It's because of basically the polishing of the die to remove clash marks. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but basically look for the 2 feathers because they do put them on the coin slabs. Here is a 1930 S with 2 feathers, as you see here on the coin slab from PCGS. It is graded only at a very fine 20, so it's got, you know, pretty low grade. It's not a mint state grade or anything like that. But this coin did sell for over $240. So not too bad. S mint mark, 2 feathers. Always be on the lookout for that. Now for the 1930 no mint mark, this coin is solely valuable because of its high grade of a mint state 67. So that's what gives this coin value. This coin sold for over $7,000. You know, there's probably not many of them out there at this grade. So that's what's going to give it a lot of value. $7,000 nickel. Now an even more expensive nickel, this is a 1930 S mint mark. Now this one doesn't have any types of errors either, but it's got that high grade of a mint state 67, and because of that, this nickel sold for over $30,000. $30,000, man, that has got some amazing toning to that coin there. Also on the 1930 S, you want to look for a repunched mint mark. So with your USB coin microscope, you can see this S mint mark. And here's another example of that RPM, that repunched mint mark as well. Now here is that coin with the repunched mint mark, and it's graded at an extra fine 40, and this coin sold for over $150. Like I always say, it would sell for a little more had it been a higher grade. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I will see you on the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.